Okay, so picked up these little guys yesterday afternoon. There's 7 of them. I bought them from Ketchatori Hatchery in Clifton Springs, New York. I highly recommend them. I mean, I'm not an experienced chickener, but this is the first time I've ever had owned chickens, or had little feather babies, I should say. But they came highly recommended, and from what I experienced, it was they were very helpful. The place was clean, the animals look healthy. These little buggers, they spent the night here last night, their first night. I just cleaned their bedding, and I just thought I'd run through kind of what I do. I've got a cardboard box. I'll back up. I don't know, it's kind of dark. It's a cardboard box. It's 18 by 26. And then, of course, I have a tile floor. They're enclosed in the downstairs bathroom that we hardly ever use. And I put a curtain up so that the area is even smaller. So when we run the heater in here, if it does get cold, run the heater in here, it's be a lot easier to heat this and keep this warm. Underneath the box, because of the tile floor, is a bath mat, and that's 2 of my crocheted blankets that are folded. So there's a lot of insulation on the bottom part. Just for now, because we weren't sure, I've got 2 of my bistro chairs that have a little nooch in them, so that curtain pole, which is metal and very sturdy, fits between the 2 and hangs over. And then on this chair, there's the bath shower curtain that I put close to them. There's a little tote. That's what I brought them home in, and a little crocheted, thing on the bottom there for them. They seem to like that very much. I also had some lamb's wool, a little piece of lamb's wool in there, and that was in there also last night, right before I cleaned their box. They seem to like the lamb's wool, so I'm going to find more in my house and cut sections and just put like a little area that just has some they can climb on there if they want. Maybe it is reminiscent of their mom, I don't know. But I did also, in traveling, had the heated seat on in my car, the passenger seat, plus the heater on. I was melting, but they were fine. The sun was shining on them, and also I had those heating hand warmers that I put on the bottom. They had adhesive, so I put them on the bottom just for the trip real quick, Then where their water is, it was recommended to put marbles or something in there because I guess babies tend to fall in and they could drown. I didn't have marbles, but I do have a gravel yard, a driveway. So I washed with soap and water and then baking soda and boiled them to get any impurities out of them, because they're going to be, of course, soaking in the water. And in their water, which I will change on daily, is that electrolyte stuff, and do that for I'm going to do that for at least a week. Then they've got the little crumble. And I did put plastic around here just in case something spills. I'm going to tape this one up. I just feel like they might want to start picking at it. There's crumble in there. And then there's the chicks. And then in that little dish that they're standing on, I had some of those really tough for me, but gross bugs. And what you're looking at, the 2 black ones that have pure black on the head, those are black Australorp. The one that's looking up at you with the little white spot on its head is the, I have to check, that's the Cuckoo Maran that I didn't have on my list, but was adorable and available. And then the browner one right there, oh my gosh, that one, I think the personality is going to be worth $1 million. That one is the Barnavelda. It's spelled the way I'm pronouncing it, Barnavelda. And then the little one laying down right there, and the one, those 2 right in the corner there that are browns. Those are silver-faced Wyandottes. And underneath the brooder is a New Hampshire Red, and that's just all buff color. And then we have the brooder heater that fits perfectly in this cardboard box. And so that was all put on, of course, beforehand. Also, the gentleman at the Cacciatore, I did have a red lamp to hang, and he recommended a white one, or clear, whatever. He did explain why I was too excited about the chickens to be able to remember why. But I did buy one from them just so I have that. And the bedding, one of the other suggestions they said was not to put, because they just pick at everything, is maybe not to put the pine needle or the pine shavings down for a couple days. And to be perfectly honest, it was so easy to clean this box this morning because I took the water out, the food dish out, the little tray of snacks out, while they were all still underneath everything. Then I took and put the little birds in that small tote that I brought them home in, and then put them right back down where the water and food is, so they were not away from the heat source, and took out the brooder bed, whatever you want to call this. And so all the chicks were contained in that little tote, in there under the light, and then I was able to pull up the towel that I had originally underneath here, and then take the little guys out for just a hot second, pull the other part of the towel out, fold it all within itself so I didn't spill stuff. I also wore plastic gloves, and I'll explain that in a hot sec. And then what you're seeing on the bottom are those cheap blankets you can get at Walmart, and I cut them in half. So it's double thickness, plus, like I said, underneath the box is absolutely insulated. And that's so that's two different changes. So I probably will end up changing their bedding twice a day if need be. And the reason I wore gloves when I'm touching anything is I don't want to transfer any of their germs if they have them, but also my own germs. So before I handle or pet or touch the chicks, I wash my hands with soap and water. And then when I do touch them, I also wash my hand afterwards. Also wash my hands with soap and water. Look at stretching. I love the way they're stretching their legs. I did notice, and I'm going to get up close and personal to this one for a sec. This is the silver-faced Wyandotte, but just from yesterday to today, you could actually see the little feathers starting on their wings, and that was not there yesterday. So, and they already have started their personalities. And we did also, I should say, my son came up with the concept of names for them. I know I had people giving me suggestions, but I picked up 7. So in hopes that all 7, do make it. But I picked up 7 chicks, and he thought that these 7 heavenly virtues would be a great idea for their names. So I'm not going to tell you what all. You could look it up, and then there's nicknames for each one. So it worked out perfectly, and I like that idea. So I think that's what we're going to do. And yeah, they've already made a mess. I literally just cleaned in here, and they're already making a mess. This is going to be fabulous for my OCD because this little guy's tired. We just cleaned the bedding, so that's the Barnavelda, however I said it before. She's sleeping. She's fine. And they're all females. That's another thing that was nice about the hatchery. They're not a straight run. 90% chance, but he said, no, they're all females, but they advertise it. It's 90% just to cover themselves, but they're probably all females. And if one's a rooster, I'm actually okay with that too. So not the end of the world. But yeah, I'm loving the fact that their feathers are just starting to come out. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else that, so I have a couple of those blankets that I had laying around the house, and I just cut them in half. So I've got already folded and ready. So when I want to change them, it really, the changing of the cage was so easy. And they'll be in here, and of course I'll monitor their you know, how big they're growing. I did leave the plastic cap on the top of the brooder heater because I don't want them up there, to be honest. I don't want any opportunity, because I taped the box so it's double tall. There's taper on the edges. I don't want them to come flying out because the floor is cold and they would get hurt, so I don't want them up on top of that. I don't know if at this level in age they're able to do that, jump up there, but I don't want to take any chance. But yeah, now they're resting because they just had a little bit of a fun time with getting changed and changing out the box. And I held each one very calmly and petted them so that they get used to me picking them up. But they're adorable. I'm very excited about this whole, so far, day one. Day one's good. All right. We'll see as the days progress. All right. Bye-bye for now.